Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to survive the Swedish darkness. Now, I think it's first of all, I want to share with you my experience, and what I'll say to you is that I am not a doctor. So if I suggest something that maybe I take that works for me, I'm not saying you should do the same. I'm just sharing with you things that have worked for me and what I've done. I've been in Sweden now for 5.5 years, and so this is my sixth time now kind of going through the darkness in Sweden. I always find it difficult, and I thought if I was here a little bit longer, it would eventually get easy, but it never really does. And every year, I'm always kind of just struck back with how tired I feel and just how exhausted I can get right away. So, anyways, things that have definitely worked for me, and I'm trying and changing some things this year. And so I'll share them with you. I can't say that everything I'm going to be able to do daily, but these are kind of the new things and strategies that I've done. The first thing that I have done personally is I like to have a workout routine, and this is something I've regularly done every year. Right now, I'm trying to run about 6 kilometers every day. I don't know if I'm going to get a run in today, which means I might have to double it the next day. I used to run 4 days a week now, but I found myself just getting really tired and burned out. I love running, but sometimes I just think you can get burned out from working out. But I think a regular fitness routine is okay, and I also think it's okay if you forgive yourself if you need to take a day off. So I'll decide here in a little bit if I'm going to go on a run today or if I'm just going to double my run tomorrow. But I definitely recommend exercise. I like to work out inside a gym, but I also have found that running in the dark is still kind of worth it just to kind of breathe in the fresh air. Another thing that I think is really important in the Swedish winter is that if you get a chance, if you're working or if you're in school, it's really important that you take 15 to 20 minutes to try to take a walk outside to get in that fresh air and try to get that light. A lot of times you get darkness on your way to work or school and on your way home, and that can really, really be draining. And I just think that there's I wish the best for you, but I think that getting that fresh sunlight really does make a difference. The next thing I think is the really good is to have a routine and to give yourself some time. So and maybe I can do a video sometimes on my morning routine, but some things that I like to do, I like to give myself a little bit of time in the morning to wake up. Coffee definitely helps. Sometimes I can drink too much coffee though, but having coffee in the morning and just having about an hour set aside for yourself to wake up is really important. Maybe you could get your workout done in the morning. Sometimes I do try to get my run done first thing in the morning, but either way, I just find it extremely helpful to wake up and have a chance. Also, another thing that I like to try to do is maybe meditate for 5 to 10 minutes, which if that sounds crazy, it's really just sitting and closing your eyes and focusing on your breath and trying to slow down your thought process and letting thoughts pop in and out. I find it's a good way to get centered, and it gives me like a calm mind to start the day. So that's another thing that I like to do. Also, in the winter, I like to try to avoid social media as much as possible, just in general, which is maybe why I'm not always on. Maybe I haven't been uploading as much. I like to comment and talk to you guys on YouTube. However, I think the internet is a great place. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to check up on my friends. But I think that the human mind isn't really made to always take in all this information. And so it's not just social media, but it's just media and information in general. Like, I like to follow other YouTubers, and I like to read the news, and sometimes it's fun to go on Reddit and check things, but at the same time, there's so much information that we're being bombarded with all the time that I think it's important to kind of try to sometimes limit your amount of social media. So even when I talk about my morning routine, that's usually the time that I like to watch the YouTubers that I like to follow. And I limit the amount of TV I watch actually in the winter, although it's fun to binge watch and you can have those cozy times. I'm talking more about the week. I actually focus a lot more myself personally on reading and having more of a reading routine. So I try to read between 30 minutes to an hour every day in the winter. I'm reading Stephen King's The Stand now, which is a huge book that I'm just trying to get through. But I just find it's more positive. Also for me, it's a good time to practice Swedish, which is what I've been doing as well. I kind of try to set aside things that I see as valuable. And the difference between like reading, I find that like reading in general is better in a physical book than on a tablet, although I think it's great to have both options. I think using my iPad, for example, for checking the news is great, But I just think, like I said, when you're scrolling through on a social media, I think it's fun, but I think you should really limit it at the same time because, again, I just don't think we're designed to take in all that information at once. The difference between reading a book, for example, is you have to really visualize what's happening, and I just find it to be kind of peaceful and calm, and I think you need that. And I don't know about you, but I kind of feel a little bit of motivation after I finish reading a book, a lot more than I would just if I scrolled on Facebook for an hour. So in this winter, when you're kind of feeling a little bit coming down, I do suggest trying to limit it. Enjoy movies, but limit your movies and TV a little bit. And it's nothing wrong with gaming and stuff like that, but I'm just saying this is what worked for me. On the final front, like on the supplementation front, and whether you need to eat vitamins or not, I mean, I can just tell you things and strategies that I've tried. So I like to have a balance of vitamins. I watch what vitamins I take. Personally, I like to take magnesium, and I think the type of magnesium you take is very important. So I like to use magnesium citrate that works for me, and I like to take that because it helps me fall asleep a little bit better, and it helps with muscle cramping and things like that. I find that helps me in the winter, and I usually take that all year round. I like to take fish oil, for example, as well. And I take vitamin D, vitamin D3 to be exact. And I don't know a ton about it, but I just kind of updated my vitamin D3 this year. Also, another popular supplement that people can use, and again, I'm not a doctor, and you have to be careful because it could interact with other prescription drugs or things you're on. So please consult your doctor. I am in no way trying to say that. But St. John's Wort, or I think in Swedish it's Johanneswort, is also a common herbal supplement that has been used to help people through or to treat seasonal depression. So I also watch what I eat and my supplement, and so far it's okay. This is how I kind of get through it. I'm hoping to go on a workout today. Realize that you're not alone, but I think the real thing is putting yourself into activities that are kind of worthwhile, that are going to be good for you. And I find that that's the case when it comes to feeling good. It's kind of just doing more productive things. And of course, if none of that works, feel free to try new stuff. But I'm going to ask you guys, please write below some strategies that you guys have done that have worked to help you survive the Swedish darkness in the winter, because we're just kind of starting out and we can kind of share things together. Let me know, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're new to the channel, I would love to have you hit that like button if you like this video. If you didn't, you can hit that dislike. It's okay. It's going to hurt me, though, but it's okay. And then also, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I hope that you're happy with the content you've been seeing. I was really excited to do a collab video just recently. I recommend you check that one out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.